In today's video, we're going to be doing unboxing of this Sony wireless microphone, which has the model number as ECM-W2BT. Looking at the box, we can see clearly over here that we'll be getting two things over here. One is a receiver and one is a transmitter. And this particular microphone also comes with a multi-interface shoe, which means that you can directly connect the receiver to a Sony camera and you don't need any extra cable. And if you have Sony camera, it can directly record the audio in your camera, and that just saves you the hassle of having extra wires floating around. But in case you don't have any Sony camera, you have a camera from another brand, then you can also use the 3.5 cable that is supplied along with this and use it for recording the audio. So how it's being used, we'll see later in the video, and we'll try to open box and see what's in here. Let's look around the various parts of this box and see what is noted over here. So what it says is that this is a wireless microphone. Of course, we have taken the model number. This has been manufactured just this year, August 2021. The maximum retail price is approximately in India around 17,000 rupees. And it retails for a discount of around 1,000 rupees currently, but there may also be more offers coming later in the day. It is manufactured by Sony, but it is manufactured in China and it has been imported in India. If we look around over here, we'll see how this is supposed to be working. So we have, as we said, we have got two parts to this. One is a receiver and the other is a transmitter. The transmitter can be clipped to the person who is speaking. It can also be attached with a mic input jack. That's what's written over here. So there's an input jack, which again we'll open, we'll have a look at that. And it can also be used as two-way conversation, like you're interviewing somebody. So now let's open the pack and see what's inside it. So when we open the pack, the first thing that we see is a dead cat cover. So this is to avoid any wind noise that may be coming. So that's what is the first thing that has come along with this particular packing. The next that we saw is a pouch. A very nice pouch is there, and in that pouch we can see what we have. It's actually quite good feeling. Okay, here is the transmitter and receiver combo that we have. So this is the receiver and this is the transmitter, and we also have an accessory which can hold both of these together. So how do we need to separate it, and what are the various features? Let's have a look at around the same in a short while, but let's look at what other contents have we got. So we have got a cable over here. This cable is made in Malaysia. The entire thing is made in China, but this specifically said this is made in Malaysia. And this is a 3.5 jack, seems to be on both sides, but it is not the normal stereo cable. And we'll see, we'll try to attach this to mobiles, because I've read at many forums that if you attach this to mobiles, it doesn't really work. So that's another thing that's come along. We also have a USB to 3.5 jack cable. Now this is just to again give you input that it is not a USB-C, this is USB, the old USB type connector that we have. And we'll look around as to how much time does it take for charging. And the other thing that we have is some documentation, some user guides, and we have got the guarantee information document. So that's all that we have in this pack. So really we'll put this documentation aside and we'll try to now have a look at the receiver and the transmitter unit that we have got. So on the looks of it, this looks quite good, quite sturdy, right? The plastic seems to be of good quality. Let's just weigh this and see what really is the weight of these components individually as well as together. So I have this weighing machine now. I don't know whether you're able to see it clearly or not, but the readings over here. So the whole package is just a tad more of 55 grams. So it comes out to around 56 grams. And if I see the weight of individual components, the receiver is 27 grams and the transmitter is around 26 grams. So the receiver is heavier than transmitter, it seems. And then the rest of the weight is of this small thing, which is almost a gram. Now let's talk about the various features of the transmitter and receiver. So if we talk about the transmitter first, you can see on the front of transmitter, there's a Sony logo. And on the top of it, there are two lights. One is a link light and the other is a power/charging light. Link light should be stable when you have established the link with the receiver, and power and charging light should come up when you have switched it on, as well as when you're charging it. So if we switch this particular device on, we see that the power light is coming on, it is trying to establish link, and as soon as we turn it off, we see that both lights go away. On the top, if we see that there is a small hole over here. I think it's mic, and then we also have a hole over here which is 3.5 mm jack if you want to attach it to the same. The build quality of this is good, and if we talk about this clip over here, the clip also has got Sony engraved on it, and there's a small, there seems to be some rubberish kind of padding over here, the teeth over here, which will help you probably clip it better to your shirt or to your to the cloth which you are trying to put it to. If we talk about the side profile, we see that there are some switches over here. There are two switches. One is an on and off switch, so we tried to switch it on and we saw that the lights came up, and the other switch is to control how much is the volume that you want to be transmitting from this device. So there are three settings. It comes at by default as 10 dB, but there is a 0 dB and a 20 dB as well, and we'll see as to how these settings play a role when we're trying to record the audio. Then we have the USB power plug, so we will be using this we will be using this when we want to charge our device. And if we look on the other side, there's nothing over here, it's all blank, and that's the transmitter that we currently have. The hole on the top is also used to put the dead cat. So if it's windy where you're recording, you can use this dead cat, you can plug it in. You can see that this has been made especially over here, and it has got the size made so that it fits snugly, and you can take out easily as well, and that's what the use of it is. And you will see that the dead cat has also been made in a shape that it can be used, or it can be used as a replacement of 3.5 mm jack. Now let's talk about the receiver that we have received. And the receiver, again, like in the case of transmitter, has got Sony logo in front, and the link and the power charging lights you can see over here. It's kind of a mini version of the transmitter, but we saw that this was 1 gram heavier than the transmitter that we saw earlier. On the top, it's completely blank. There's nothing over here. If we see on the side profile, the first side profile, we see that there are two switches over here. The first switch is to switch between mic, mix, and receiver. Mic means that you want to use the mic from the transmitter to transmit the audio. Mix means that you are going to be using it in mix mode, where you'll also be using the transmitter as well as the receiver. Whereas if you only want to use the receiver, then you need to plug it to the receiver mode, and again, it will only use this particular device. Next switch we see is for changing between analog and digital mode. If your camera supports analog, then if your camera supports digital, then you need to switch it to digital. But I've read at all places, as well as on Sony's website, the Sony ZV-1 is not supporting digital mode, so we will have to switch analog, and again we will also see that later in the video. At the bottom we can see that there is this multi-shoe, so which should get plugged very clearly or very easily on the Sony camera, and that's about both of these things that we currently have. This is what we saw to store away these transmitter and receiver easily. This comes as a very nice attachment, and it's a very small pack which we can put very easily in our pouch and take it anywhere. So next, let's try to plug this in the Sony ZV-1 and see how it really works, and what difference does it make. So I somehow missed this while recording the video earlier, but the other side of the receiver also has got two ports in it. One is the USB port, where again we can put the wire to charge the receiver. That's what this port is for. And the other port is for mic out. You can see it's also engraved over here. It's a mic out port, and this is where you will be putting in the 3.5 mm cable that has been supplied along. You'll put it over here, and the other end you will be putting in the cameras which do not support this jack, right? So for example, even if in ZV-1 you want to use, so you have this mic jack over here, and you need to just open it and plug this in, and that's how you can use this after, of course, switching this on. So I just missed it out earlier, so I thought I'll just make sure for the completeness of video I'll add it on later on, that these are the two ports that are also available on the receiver. So to use this receiver and transmitter, what we need to do is we need to plug in the receiver on Sony ZV-1. Let's do that. We have this Sony ZV-1 over here. We can see that there is this multi-shoe available, and we should be able to slide this easily on this multi-shoe, and it gets easily plugged over here. Now the next thing that we need to do is we need to switch this receiver on. So we have seen that this is on mix and receiver side. This is currently on digital, off, and analog. What I'll do is I'll first move this to digital just to check whether it is able to detect it or not. And we see that just by moving this digital, the lights have come on, and the link light is blinking because it has not been established. It has not been able to establish the link, and the power and charging cable light is also on. So right now it is on the mic mode, which means it needs the transmitter to be on to receive the sound. And what I'll do is I'll switch on the transmitter and we'll see what happens simultaneously. So this has been switched on. The link, as soon as I've switched on, I think probably within the blink of eye, it has been able to establish the link over here. We'll now switch on the Sony ZV-1 and see how it really works, and whether it is able to establish the contact with that, and whether it is able to find that there is a device that has been plugged in. So we see that it is saying channel 1, channel 2. I don't know whether it is coming from this device or which device it is coming from. Okay, so here is the error that has come. It says this accessory is not supported by the device and cannot be used. Please verify the compatibility with the device. But we did see that the volume levels were moving indeed, and we need to press OK over here. So we'll press OK, and it still is recording the volume. I don't know. What I'll do is I'll try to change the volume and see whether change it to analog and see how it works. Okay, I've changed this to analog now. I don't know why it has zoomed, but okay. This has now been changed to analog, and I'm trying to record it from the transmitter, and the voice seems to be coming okay. I'll just change the setting from transmitter to receiver, and now it is to receiver. And I don't know whether it is, where it does it pick from, but what we'll do is let me put that aside, and I'll show you the voice differences between all the various profiles and see how does it react. So let's move on to that now. So we are now going to be doing few experiments. For example, the voice that you are hearing right now, I have put the receiver setting to transmitter, so mic setting, and hence the voice that you are hearing should be coming from this transmitter. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to move this setting to receiver, and then hopefully you should be able to see what is the difference in my voice profile. So I'll switch this to the receiver only. So the voice that you are getting should not be from here, and if I try to switch it off, I have switched it off now. You should still be able to hear it fine. It should not make any difference. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put it to the mix mode, and I've switched this on, and as soon as I've switched, you can see that it has gone to the light has gone to the link mode. Let me just switch on the mode, and as soon as I try to put it to the mix mode, now be able to you should now be able to get the audio from both transmitter and receiver. The next thing that I'm going to do, and this is a bit of an experiment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting this in digital mode and then try to connect and then try to record the audio, because it showed an error when we have put this digital mode. So I'm going to put this to showing that it will record audio. It did not, and that's what the test that I wanted to do. How do you find the voice profile of this Sony wireless mic? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions or doubts, please feel free to ask me. The link of this device is also in the description. The next I'm going to be covering is how does this particular mic work with the smartphones and whether or not it works. I'll be covering that in the next video, so make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Catch you later. Have a great day. Cheers. Bye.